Fenrir. My brother's soul still ran as he always had. So very silent, so very swift, so impossible. The forest bent and warped around him as though it tried to help him with every footfall and every jink he took. Nothing got in his way. All about him supported his journey. For me, the forest did the bloody opposite. All it tried to do for me was get in the bloody way. Roots reached for me paws, low branches struck me shoulders and head. Brambles not only clung to me, but seemed to reach for me, to wrap deep into me fur and try to imprison me. Still, fuck it all, I gained upon him. He no longer ran as the wolf I remembered. There was a strange weariness in him. I smelt grief rise as a stink from his eye, and grief makes everything that suffers it makes them slower. Eventually the grey wolf stopped. A great fallen beech lay across a stream, its roots clawing at the evening sky. Volchor turned and stood up on the trunk. He could hold that position against me all day. The only way to him was down the very trunk that he guarded. His head dropped. His ears flattened as his hackles rose. Lips drew back from yellow teeth. A savage, unfiltered growl reverberated, but the terrifying part of it was that the forest around me gave its million voices as in support.
I told you to leave.
His voice sounded like distant thunder. But I've only just found you.
You have only just lost me.
I climbed onto the great trunk opposite him. This didn't help his disposition. For a long while we stood eye to eye. The invisible energy of the stair crackled between us as he snarled. I didn't really respond, but neither of us spoke. The forest did the talking, water over stones, leaves whispering, insects raging anger. The birds did not sing, they screeched various warnings. A raven somewhere beyond trees added his own anger. Fuck them. Finally, ignoring all, I asked the question. Brother, what has happened? He laughed. There was no humour in it.
You happened. You are wrong here.
I blinked. Aye?
You.
He turned slowly. His pale blue eyes were really old, older than sorrow itself.
You chose human.
What? I was confused. We chose them an awful long time ago.
We abandoned them when we came here.
I looked away. No, you did. You abandoned them. I was just without one, so eventually I chose one.
Yes, you chose mankind.
A venom-filled answer. No, not mankind. I just chose William.
There is no difference.
He spat again. His words struck harder than any sword could.
They lie. They conquer. They name themselves masters of everything they see.
He swept his head towards the forest around us.
They cut. They burn. They
He shook his head at this.
build these things. They call it civilization. It is annihilation.
I remained silent. I didn't really know what to say.
They are the only beasts to destroy what feed them. They do not take what is required. All they take. All of it. Then leave their caste as evidence.
His great head lowered.
The deer, they only take what they need. The wolves, they hunt because hunger haunts their bellies and they need to feed their young. The bear gets fat as he strips the blueberries from the bushes. The trees, Fenrir. The trees only suck water from the ground and eat only the sunlight. Men destroy simply because they wish the world to look different for them. It has to change for them. You understand this? They are a plague species.
His voice became quieter now, almost gentle.
They make the world theirs, not nature's. Not anymore ours.
I thought of William, then at village, then at endless tree stumps. But you've been killing men. He looked at me.
No, I wanted to, But my Dreana hated the idea of my killing them. She is merciful in her nature.
Everything became still. It seemed that living things around me had become silent at that name. What's a Dreana? First sign Volchor's manner changed instantly. He raised his head. He became his old self once again. It transformed him, not into a monster, but into wolf I remembered.
Dreana was everything. All of nature here. Dreana.
He spoke her name with extraordinary tenderness. He sat wearily as he reminisced. It was so heartwarming for me, a reminder of what he'd been before.
She laughed whenever the wind blew. She thought squirrels were ridiculous, but gave them her acorns.
This confused me. Acorns?
She insisted every oncoming season would be the best season.
He looked upwards towards the canopy before he laughed.
She was wrong almost every time. But she believed it anyway, and because she did, so did I.
I listened. Something inside me already feared the ending.
She was the Dryad.
He nodded beyond trees.
Not of this forest, of one tree. She was the spirit of the great oak. I joined with her when the tree was still sapling. I guarded her. I guarded the wolves. I guarded the streams. I guarded the birds. I guarded everything that lived beneath the branches.
He smiled sadly.
For hundreds of years, we watched the ever better seasons together.
He laughed, then the nostalgia disappeared, and the bitterness, well, it came back.
And then they came. These men who claim to be of Christ.
I needed to ask a question. They cut down Dryad's tree. He simply nodded.
I wanted to kill them. She disallowed it. So then I begged them not to do their axe work.
His voice cracked.
But they could not hear me. I stood among them. I roared. I tried to break their tools. They did not see. They did not feel. They just cut with their axes.
He closed his eyes.
Again and again. Every blow a wound. She screamed so much. Each axe fall was a cry. And then the last blow. I still hear it, brother. I still hear it in my heart. I wish not to. Why did she stop me?
Silence. I had no answer. All seemed quieter, even stream.
When the oak fell, Dreana fell with it.
My heart sank.
I thought she had died.
His great paws trembled beneath him.
But Dryads do not die so easily.
I looked up. What became of her? Volchor looked back towards distant village.
She became at that time a human child.
What? I frowned.
The soul of her tree survived, but her memories did not. She awoke again as a little girl. No knowledge, no past, no understanding of who she had been. Only one instinct remained: to stay close to the wood that had once been her entire body.
William's thoughts flickered somewhere far behind me. He was calling. I scarcely heard him. The church? I whispered. Volchor nodded.
They built it. They built that That from her very bones.
The words hung between us. I had nothing really.
Every beam, every roof timber, every carved pillar. The church was not merely built from oak, it was built from Dreana the Dryad herself. I found her, waiter.
Volchor's voice became softer than the wind itself.
She smiled at me.
My heart lifted.
Did she remember?
He shook his head.
No.
Pain filled his eyes.
She thought I was... big dog? A big dog.
His voice finally broke.
And I realized I had already lost her.
A tear fell from beneath a pale eye. It vanished into moss.
I would have killed the foresters, killed the charcoal burners, killed anyone who carried an axe. I thought if I stopped the forest, stopped it from shrinking, perhaps she could remember.
He looked at me.
But my brother, I was wrong. Dreana, my Dreana, she cried whenever I wanted to kill for her. To her, I would then become a monster. She said to me, she said monsters murder. She asked me,
His voice dissolved into grief.
why would I become one?
The forest, well, it became utterly silent and neither of us spoke, because there are some answers that even wolves cannot find.
William Marshal. My search for Fenrir was long and arduous. I eventually caught up with him, though. He was sitting outside the little new church. He did not move in response to my approach. His eyes never left the door. The great black wolf simply sat among the long grass, staring at the timber doors as though he expected them to speak to him. It was apparent no one else could see him, because village life went on about him and even through him. Well, I thought no one else could see him. Children ran past him, laughing. A farmer led his oxen towards the fields. The oxen felt discomfort at something as they passed where Fenrir sat, but man, no. Women carried baskets of bread into the square. They also walked through the giant wolf without knowing he was even there. Yet somehow, in amongst all this life and people, he looked so very forlorn and lonelier than I had ever seen him. I walked quietly across the grass to him. Fenrir. He did not answer. Instead, his amber eyes remained fixed upon the church.
She's inside.
She? Who, that little girl? I was confused.
The Dryad.
The what?
The Dryad.
He said angrily. I gave him a slow nod as I crossed myself against nothing. It was just a habit to be done at a mention of the unknown. Silly, really. He sensed that I did not understand what he meant by the word Dryad.
That Dreana, that little girl, she's Dryad, the spirit of great tree. Well, what's left of her anyways.
I had never heard of tree spirits outside of children's stories told to me when I was but a boy. Yet, with all that I had seen, and all that had been shown to me, including my very own wolf soul, Dryad seemed now an easy thing to accept. So, I simply did. I followed his gaze. The church was beautiful, it was. It was simply built, it was honest, The beam still glistened with fresh sap beneath the afternoon sun. It smelled... It smelled somehow alive. And yet somehow dead or dying, perhaps. A tiny voice interrupted my thoughts.
Hello, again.
Resonated in my head. Not heard. Directly inside my head. The little girl from the clearing stood beside me. The acorn still rested carefully in both her hands as though it were the greatest treasure in all Christendom. Her focus was not mine. But then she turned to me. A smile like a spring-sprung sunrise beamed forth. Then, without any hesitation, she walked directly towards Fenrir. I held my breath. She could not see him. Surely. Nobody saw him. No one but me. And yet, she stopped directly before the enormous wolf. She tilted her little head, and she gave him an even brighter smile than the one she offered me.
You're a very big doggy.
Burst into my brain. I knew Fenrir heard it too, as he froze. The little girl giggled.
Don't worry.
She reached upwards.
I don't pull doggy ears like Jamie does. He's a poo-poo head.
Fenrir relaxed. The girl slowly, very slowly, reached up and her tiny hand rested between his ears. She touched him. Fenrir closed his eyes. He made no sound, but I felt something pass between us. Not words, not thoughts. Simply a deep form of sorrow as the little girl gently scratched behind one great ear and then the other.
My other doggy's lonely. Doggies get lonely.
Fenrir remained perfectly still.
It's okay. I get it. I get lonely too. I think you look kinda lonely.
His breathing became unsteady. She smiled.
Can I sit with you?
Without another word, she plonked herself down on the grass beside him and leaned comfortably against a wolf that to all but me and her did not exist. Once resting there, she began arranging little acorns into neat little circles in the grass next to her. Fenrir watched every movement, almost afraid she would disappear. Eventually, she looked up to him.
Why are you sad?
His ears lowered. I could sense his disquiet with such a question. I answered for him. "He's lost somebody, he has," I told her. She stopped her arrangement and put her finger to her chin as if pondering much. Then after a pause, nodded thoughtfully.
What?
She looked confused. Time passed. "I'm sorry," I told the little thing.
So am I.
She answered before looking towards the church.
Father Etienne says people stay where they're loved.
The statement was quite flippant as she returned to the important process of arranging the nuts. Fenrir slowly turned towards her. His great golden eyes widened.
You don't really go away.
He murmured.
They just stay differently.
She smiled. Then silence. A pause in the organizing. Then she carefully picked up another acorn, scrutinizing it carefully before saying,
I think that's a very nice thing to say.
Fenrir's voice entered my thoughts. It was barely a whisper.
She's a little girl, but she speaks like fair, William.
I looked at him. Does she remember, do you think? His answer came immediately.
No,
He sounded utterly broken.
not one leaf, Not one moment.
Movement behind us. I turned. Volchor stood among the shadows beneath the trees. His face held venom, distaste, and disgust. I flinched, my sword partially drawn instantly.
No, William, friend.
Shouted Fenrir in my mind. I slowly relaxed. Once the monster saw me resheath the blade, he approached. He was truly massive, yet he made no noise. It was true. He was another wolf soul then. The little girl looked up at him, smiled brightly, and leapt to her feet, pointing at the great wolf.
Oh, oh, oh!
She waved.
Looky, the big doggy can have a friend!
Volchor stared at her. Every ounce of anger vanished from his ancient face. Only grief remained. Dreana. His dejection was evident. She frowned, but politely.
My name's not Dreana, silly. I'm Dreer.
Volchor closed his eyes. Yes, he said. For a moment I feared he would simply collapse beneath the weight of centuries. Instead, he managed a smile. It's a beautiful name. She beamed.
Thank you, big doggy.
Then she returned to her seat at Fenrir's feet and got back to arranging her acorns.
This, William, is Volchor. He's a brother of mine from your old tribe.
The great wolf nodded at me. I bowed a greeting. Felt like the right thing to do to this great, well, lord of a beast.
He's lived here for more than 12 generations of men.
Fenrir told me. Dreana ignored all this as she spoke to the acorns that she herded in the grass.
His name's Volchor.
She said. Again, I nodded a greeting of sorts. This moment felt important. I am here for her, he announced, looking at the tiny dot of a girl playing on the grass. I am guardian of sorts, a guardian sheep I chose after losing my faith in creatures like you. He said somewhat bitterly whilst meeting my eyes. We held that look for a while. That laugh broke the stare. We all looked at the little girl as she giggled and chastised the acorn she held. She was completely unaware that the creature watching her had guarded her through 600 seasons. Volchor looked at me. Men, you see? His voice was quiet. I cannot hit them because of here. I frowned. But you killed them, you do? I blurted. I have not killed them yet. Came back from the angry beast, a snarl evident in his voice. I will kill them, though. If I can get my Dreana to understand why I would kill them. And then I kill any who carry the axes. He looked towards the forest. I would not kill children, I think. I would not hunt the old and the infirm. They, he nodded at Dreana. We have left food beside widow's door in winter. We have driven wolves away from their sheep. I stared. He continued. We have spent centuries protecting them. Protecting them when they were part of nature. He looked back at the church. But then, that was built, and all things changed. Now the forest and his kin are wrong. They call it evil. They do not abide with it, and us but ravage and destroy all. Before I could answer, Father Etienne emerged from the church carrying a bundle of candles. The little girl ran towards him. To him, she was mute, but we could hear her inside our own heads. We could hear her shout, "Father!"
Father!
He smiled warmly. "Oh, there you are," he said as he gathered her in his arms. She hugged him tightly. She pointed at us. The priest simply laughed. "Have you been bothering the brave knight?" he asked her. She mimed crying, balling her fists and grinding them into her eye sockets, then pointed at Fenrir and Volchor. Father Etienne looked around the empty churchyard. There was, of course, nothing where she pointed. He smiled indulgently. "I think perhaps you've been taking to your imagination, have you not?" She shook her head vigorously in a child's angry no. She held the man's chin with her small right hand and turned his head as she pointed directly at Fenrir. The priest looked straight through him, saw nothing. "My child," he laughed before gently placing her on the ground and taking her tiny hand in his. "Please, Dreana, do come inside. Stop bothering Sir William. He is busy. Also, I have cherry jam." Dreana looked back over her shoulder at our little group. She waved cheerfully.
Bye, big doggies!
She said into our heads. Fenrir lifted his head ever so slightly. Volchor followed them to the door. "Goodbye, little tree," said the giant grey-pelted wolf. The church door closed. Silence settled once more. Volchor spoke without taking his eyes from the wooden walls, and then silence fell between the three of us. Not awkward. No. Each of us was considering whatever this was. Volchor then spoke to us. "There is only one way I can think to free her." I already knew what he meant. You're thinking about the church, right?" He nodded. "Yes, it must come down." I looked at the rough-hewn timbers, at the cross above the roof, at the smoke rising peacefully from the villagers' homes. I imagined the men who would cut those trees, the women who had carried the stones, the children who had celebrated its completion. "It is their hope," he said. Volchor's eyes filled with tears. "But for her, it is a prison." Neither of us spoke, because for the first time since I had become a knight, I faced an enemy that neither sword nor claws could ever hope to defeat.